Yeah, today is May 30th and it is Biafra Heroes Day. It's time to honor some great men who fought for our cause. While the political and military leaders of Biafra during the war are well known, I wish to highlight some individuals who on their own showed incredible bravery, compassion, or protested in support of Biafra or in reaction to the genocide that was going on then. These men are worth celebrating. Number one on my list is Chinua Achebe. You can call him the voice of Biafra and you won't be wrong. Achebe was not only a cultural ambassador for Biafra, but also a public intellectual who used his international stature to draw attention to the Biafran cause during and after the war. Okokondem. Okokondem was the most popular voice of Radio Biafra then. His voice and broadcasts were very motivating and served in keeping Biafrans informed and united, especially with his jingle, Onye ndiro gbara gburugburu, na-eche ndụ ya nche mgbe niile, a message that has remained relevant till today, even more relevant. Bruce Merrock. Bruce Merrock. Words cannot quantify his sacrifice for Biafra. An American, 20 years old, student at the Columbia University, USA, Bruce Merrock set himself on fire in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York in protest of the world's silence towards the mass starvation and genocide happening in Biafra land. United States, which is his own country, was in favor of Nigeria for oil's sake. This can help you understand the actions of countries like Finland or Freezer. Let's recall some great Enoch Adegoke. Who's been fighting for our rights. Enoch Adegoke. Despite being from the Yoruba ethnic group, that is Western Nigeria as at then, he volunteered in Biafra to help to treat malnourished children and the wounded, risking being branded a spy or a traitor by both sides. Doctors Without Borders. Actually, Medicines Sans Frontiers. The horrific conditions in Biafra prompted a group of French doctors and journalists to found Medicines Sans Frontiers in 1971. They were frustrated with the inability of the Red Cross to speak out and act appropriately about the atrocities going on. So they leveraged on France's desire to counter the influence of Britain in Nigeria. You see these three, Bruce Merrock, Enoch Adegoke, and Medicines Sans Frontiers, that's Doctors Without Borders. They serve to remind us that God has no tribe or color, but resides in the heart of all who allow him accommodation. Akano Ibiam. Dr. Francis Akano Ibiam, a towering figure knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 1951 for his services to medicine and missionary work. He renounced his knighthood in a letter to the Queen citing the British government's military support to the Nigerian forces despite their atrocities. He had to mail his insignia of knighthood back to Buckingham Palace. Dick Tiger, real name Richard Ihetu, world middleweight champion, world light heavyweight champion. Instead of staying away from danger, Dick Tiger returned home and joined Biafran army as lieutenant. This was at the peak of his career. He used his fame to speak about Biafra in the international press and wore Biafran colors instead of Nigeria. And wore Biafran colors instead of Nigeria in his fights. He was later blacklisted and stripped of his honor by Nigeria. Dick Tiger, Richard Ihetu, is a symbol of sacrifice, loyalty, and moral courage. He gave up global stardom to stand with his people in their darkest hour. These and many others I cannot mention now are heroes that we celebrate today. We must remember them and we must continue.